Episode 48 of Go Juju is a very dark and depressing episode. I think this episode is made more for the adult fans of Go Juju. We all know this episode was probably rewritten because of the Maya Gate scandals that's been going on since episode 47 was filmed. There was a little thing online not too long ago showing her being recorded on episode 47. And then, anyways, we're not going to talk about that here, but in this episode of Go Juju for episode 48, all the Go Jujers die. The monster of the week that was talking to QMD in the beginning of this episode, all the way up to the end where they kill off all the Go Jujers, basically is a yin and yang monster. He tells QMD that he is a god. Why are you acting not like a god? You know, there's good side and bad side, and QMD doesn't want to listen to this monster. They even end up in the, hotel slash, restaurant slash whatever the saloon thing is. And the monster is talking to all the Go Jujers, talking about how QMD is a god and how he doesn't like take a sword. And it's just interesting. And QMD just flips out on him and says, enough is enough. Stop, talking, stop lying. And the monster just goes nuts and starts, destroying the city, destroying the world, basically. And at that point, all the Go Jujers, transform, morph. And this is where it gets interesting because if you remember right, this episode was going to be the battle between QMD and Goju to see who is the most powerful Sentai to continue on the battles. Well, because this episode was rewritten, most likely they just had to figure out a way to end it fast because we're not getting episode 50. Next week is most likely going to be the last episode because that episode 50 with Maya has been erased from Go Juju. Well, not exactly erased, but will never be seen unless they have a special DVD release sooner or later. But the monster has a second transformation as he's destroying the city and has come to kill all the Go Jujers. And what I mean by kill all the Go Jujers, even the ones without the powers of the Go Juju rings are also been eliminated. So yes, all the Go Jujers have been eliminated. QMD is the savior of the show of this episode. He takes the monster down by himself. He becomes like a demigod or a super god or super saiyan, whatever you want to call him. He morphs all of his rings together and becomes this powerful creature that looks just like QMD, but Superman type, I guess you'd say. And he just pile drives him down to the center of Earth, killing himself and the monster, releasing his rings to Goju. And Goju just saw all of his friends get eliminated. Now, when the monster gets destroyed, the whole, part of Japan that was destroyed becomes back to normal because the monster's magic has been, disintegrated and everything went back to normal besides the Gojujus never come back. Goju is there with all the rings falling towards him, seeing all of his friends' rings, all the 50 rings that they had to collect all the way towards him, and take a sword, ending the show saying, "You are number one Sentai." And again, Goju is breaking down and crying, because he just lost all of his friends, and he doesn't want to be number one Sentai. He even looks at Take a Sword and says, "Don't say it, don't say it." And of course, Sword has no choice because Goju is now the number one Sentai, but we knew this was coming. And unfortunately, this was not the way this episode was probably supposed to be. Because we have lost the original episode 47, 48, 49 is going to be the last episode because the Maya scandal, like I said, had cut out one episode about her backstory. And so next week is the last episode of Goju. And of course, we know that Goju has to make his wish. Now, my prediction now is going to be a little different because originally I was not expecting the Gojujers to die. Honestly, I thought the Gojujers would lose their rings, Goju would have got them, and Goju would have made them all have their wishes come true because that would be his wish. Well, now that Gojujers are all disintegrated, basically, if you saw the episode, you would know that Goju is just in heartache, like I've said over and over again since I started this video. So I believe his wish is going to be bringing them all back. I don't think it's going to be anything else, but I want my friends back with their powers to help me defeat the enemy of the day. Because overall, Goju is strong. He has multiple ways to defeat the monster, but just like in any good, superhero show that has multiple superheroes in it, especially Sentai shows, you need that friendship to win the day. And we've seen it in Power Rangers, we've seen it in, different tokusatsu shows, Bandai shows, Saban shows, I mean. They need each other to complete the show. So I'm 100% sure now that Goju wish will be to bring his friends back so they can have the one last battle together to win the Goju show as saving the world from Candle that became his true form at the somewhat in the show of this episode. And it's just I don't know. I think I'm really like shocked just to see how dark this was and how twisted it was. Um, I think overall I don't see this show as ever really ending the way that it should have. I think the show is going to end in a bad note. I think if it had the complete ending like it was supposed to have with Maya, I think it would be better. I know the Maya scandal keeps coming back around. I thought that thing was done and over with. But more I, try to figure out this whole Go Juger and how it's, working for the show and how we are not getting episode 50. I think overall, I really would have loved to see this show end on a good note with Maya being in it. But we all know that's not going to happen. There is a rumor that Maya's been dead for a while in the show. And they kind of have a scene where the monster's holding Maya's ring on his finger, the Gojuger unicorn ring. People are speculating that that part of the episode showing that Maya was never there. She was like a ghost Gojuger, I guess, in a way. I don't like that kind of rumor, but it's better than saying, oh, she had a different face or something. I guess Gojuger can live in, spirit form and then become real when they morph. I don't really care. But I think the episode itself was okay. I think the episode could have been better. I think they should have had the QMD fight with Goju at least in the beginning of the episode or in the middle of the episode or somewhere, and then have Goju or something, win the battle, and then have QMD because he's a god take out the monster. I don't know. I think overall the episode could have been better. And I know, like I said, that the episode 49 is going to be the last episode. People are saying, and I believe it. I don't know, guys. I think Go Juger was a great show. And I'm gonna watch the last episode for course and I really poured on it, but I just don't see it ending the way I was hoping it would end. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. So I'm kind of glad that this is finally ending, but I'm kind of not glad because I know it's not the true ending that I wanted. And I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but I have, so many thoughts about this show now because when I first started the show, when Maya was in it, it was a fantastic show. And I was going to do like an overview of the whole show. The more I watch it and more I see what's going on with the show, I really don't think I need to do an overview. Maybe on the very last episode, I will actually talk about the whole show because it's like I don't really feel like I need to go into it like I did with like the Unworthy show or some of the other shows I've talked about because we all know what happened. If you're a big Super Sentai fan, I think a lot of us feel the same way that we got gypped out of the whole Gojuja show as soon as Maya was kicked out of the show. So, anyways, I'm going to shut up now and let you guys go about your day, your night. And I hope you like this video, and I catch you next time on my last Gojuja episode video next week. Peace.